So today's topic of discussion is ammonia boron. So this molecule is very famous nowadays. You'll understand why slowly. So today we shall discuss the basic idea, bonding of this chemical reactivity, and finally one MCQ. So let's start. Before going to details, I want to give you the multiple choice question in front of you. I request you please pause the video and try by yourself, and please write your answer in the comment box, and definitely at the end of this discussion I shall provide the right answer. So let's start. So by definition, this is ammonia boron is a chemical compound with the formula of this NH3BH. Actually, it's a Lewis acid base adduct you can consider. Its colorless or white solid is the simplest molecular boron nitrogen hydride compound. This is isoelectronic with ethane, which is a gas. Means this ammonia boron means these are the three bonds here, and here is a lone pair of electron, and nitrogen donates its lone pair of electron to the vacant p orbital of boron, because this BH3 it's a 6 electron species, and this ammonia actually it's a 8 electron species, and it has one lone pair of electron. We know like single boys or girls prefer to find their suitable partner, and they don't want to be single, they are ready to be mingle. It's like this compound. This ammonia has excess electron, and this boron has electron deficiency. So if they coordinate in a proper direction, means in proper environment, they form this adduct and both got stabilized. So that is the driving force of this. And now if you compare this thing with ethane, which is a second simplest hydrocarbon you can consider after methane. So it's a C2 hydrocarbon. It's isoelectronic with ammonia boron, but interestingly in this case you can see it's not a polar like ammonia boron. What do I mean by the statement? I mean that after this coordination, this nitrogen get a positive charge, it's a positive charge, and boron get negative charge. And second, the polarity of this BH or NH is significantly higher compared to the CH. So that's why this ethane is a gas, but ammonia boron is a colorless white solid. So that's another thing, another character explanation you should remember. Now, why this is called as Lewis acid base adduct? Just I told it's a Lewis acid base adduct because this ammonia has one lone pair of electron octet field, so it's a donor. And in this case BH3 has a vacant p orbital, and it's sexed 6 electron species, so it acts as an acceptor. And consequently the adduct ammonia boron, all the atom at octet field state, that is stabilization. Because I have seen many cases that when a single boy or single girl find their counterpart, means they are in N case, they are more stable, happy. So it's like that this molecule also became more stable and more happy. So, and this is the driving force for this adduct formation. For life it's happiness, and for molecule it's stability is a driving force. Now, so the next thing is bonding and reactivity. How ammonia boron is formed? As I told, this lone pair of nitrogen donated to the vacant p orbital of boron because it's sextet, and this reaction, after this reaction, this adduct is formed, and in this case nitrogen carries a formal positive charge, whereas boron carries a negative charge, because boron is getting electron and nitrogen is donating electron. And for this reaction you need anhydrous condition and inert solvent. Means anhydrous solvent, anhydrous medium, means first of all solvent must be anhydrous, and the above it's done in inert gas, means for example argon and nitrogen, that must also be purified or anhydrous. Okay. And why inert solvent? Generally this thing you haven't seen many cases previously, but why in this case we need inert solvent? Because for example if you take a solvent like THF, so what it can do? It can also coordinate, means it has a low, means two oxygen atom has two pairs of electron, and it can donate this boron center. Okay, so there could be a competition. So that's why means it is better to take inert solvent. Second thing, it is obviously true that nitrogen is better donor compared to this tetrahydrofuran, but we don't want any competition in the reaction medium. And another thing, inert solvent means another kind of possible, means polar protic solvent. For example, this is, you may consider methanol. Why? Because if you look at this molecule, this methanol is delta positive, whereas this hydrogen is delta positive, whereas the hydrogen from BH is delta negative. Okay, because if you look at the electronegativity value, for hydrogen it's 2.20, in boron is 2.24, means hydrogen is more electronegative compared to boron. That's why in the case of adduct formation, even this actually boron is delta negative, delta positive, hydrogen is delta negative. Now this is the thing. So that's why this reaction happens and produces, this is the coordinate covalent bond. This green arrow thing is the coordinate covalent bond. Now, so from this thing, even if you check this nitrogen, it's furthermore electronegative. So from polarity point of view, if you check this nitrogen, hydrogen, this hydrogen is delta positive, but this boron containing hydrogen is delta negative. So you can consider it's a unique combination. So that's why if it is asked to predict the polarity of all hydrogen atom, you can clearly explain this thing based on the electronegativity value of individual atoms. Okay, fine. Now what is the chemistry? As I told, when frustrated or single boys and girls get committed together, they became happy, and for molecule they became stable. So that's why you can see this reagent is air stable derivative of diboron, because generally boron compounds are not stable, and that's why BH3 you will not find. It dimerizes and produces that B2H6, and this molecule has the very famous banana bond. So it's a dimerization. But if in the medium there is such kind of Lewis base like ammonia present, that inhibits this dimerization, because of this Lewis acid base adduct formation, it is stable, and that's why it is stable in presence of air also. Okay, in air, what could be you can expect? You can expect moisture, or you can expect that oxygen. It's not that, since it's stable adduct, so it doesn't react with anything that much vigorously. Okay, so that's why you can use this boron as a reducing, means this derivative as a reducing agent under normal condition. Normal condition, what do I mean? See, boron reagents are very reactive, so for that purpose you need anhydrous medium, Schlenk-Klein, like that good setup in order to get proper yield of that chemical reaction. But by the way, in this case, since the reagent is stable, we don't need those kind of setup unnecessarily. Means normal reaction condition, means general laboratory setup is enough to carry out that reaction. And if you look at the polarity of this diboron, as I told, this boron hydrogen is delta negative, this ammonia nitrogen has delta positive, and this is, student, a very good criteria for this reagent to be reducing agent, and reduction of this carbonyl compound into the corresponding alcohol, and in this way we will definitely get racemic if these R and R prime are different. Now, why this is unique? If you look at the polarity, this carbonyl carbon is delta positive and this carbonyl oxygen is delta negative. So consequently, who will start the reaction? From your basic understanding, you can say that this boron BH, means hydride, will attack. Okay, and another thing, since this proton is delta positive, means nitrogen bounded hydrogen, so this can also form a hydrogen bonding with this carbonyl oxygen, because this is delta positive, so it can form hydrogen bonding, and it can dually activate, means the carbonyl oxygen is activated by the hydrogen bond, and the nucleophile, means in this case there are hydrides, so it can act as a nucleophile. And by the way, if you look at BH3, this is, we can say it's an sp2 hybridized planar, but when this ammonia boron adduct is formed, in this case the central boron is actually sp3 hybridized. Okay, so from that thing you can compare this thing similar like sodium borohydride. I have already discussed about this sodium borohydride or lithium aluminum hydride. These sp3 nucleophilic hydrides are very good reducing agent. So this we understood. Now next question is, so how this product is formed? Now if you see this, first this hydride attacks and provide these hydrates. So these from boron part, okay, boron part, and from these you can say from ammonia part it's giving. Okay, one have delta positive hydride which will be attached to oxygen, and one have delta negative hydride which will attach to this carbon. And by the way, why workup needed? To remove all the reagents, and generally workup means water, any organic solvent workup, or even column chromatography, such that you will get a pure product. Fine. So this is, and in presence of any chiral ligand, enantioselectivity selectivity you may observe. If you have any chiral ligand in presence of, then chirality or enantiomeric preference or is observed. So if these R and R prime are different, then we get selectively or more a particular product or particular stereoisomer, better to say. So we understood. Now this ammonia boron, if you look at this reagent, it can act as chemical hydrogen storage. Why I am saying this thing? So if you look at this reagent little carefully, you can see the polarity of these two hydrogens are reversed. What do I mean? These hydrogen, one is delta positive, one is delta negative, and this is the best combination. What do I mean? If these two hydrogen combines because of this polarity difference, if these two combines, it will produce hydride. How they will do? Since this is delta plus and this is delta minus, they can do. For example, you can say how borohydrides react with water. Water means this hydrogen is delta positive, and in case of borohydride, this hydrogen is delta negative. So that's why they react and produce hydrogen gas. We know that borohydride are not that much stable in water, and slowly they release hydrogen gas. And in the reaction medium, if you have extra acid or H plus, then this decomposition, sorry, this is not water, so decomposition facilitates and hydrogen production became faster. And by the way, there is one unique borohydride reagent, that is sodium cyanoborohydride, which can work up to pH 3 or 4. Okay, generally borohydrides are not stable in acidic medium. So from that thing we can understand the concept of hydrogen production, and in this case you can see there are actually 3 delta positive hydride attached to nitrogen and 3 delta negative hydride attached to boron. So in this way you can expect that one molecule of ammonia boron can produce 3 molecule of hydrogen. And what will be the fate of this reagent? It could be under control condition. You may consider that it's a boron nitride polymer type material, and these hydride you can utilize as fuel. Now see, if since this ammonia boron adduct is actually a solid material and you are heating a solid getting hydrogen and you can utilize as a fuel, so this thing you can consider as a chemical hydrogen storage, and it is significantly stable, and that's why it's very important. Why? For example, you want to replace fossil fuel based energy sources like petroleum, and you want to migrate towards hydrogen. Hydrogen means in a fuel cell you take hydrogen plus air, means from air you will take oxygen, react this thing and produce water, which is absolutely benign emission. So in this way, and the energy produced will be useful for to run a car. Now you need hydrogen, and we know it is very difficult to store hydrogen, and hydrogen is a gas, so you need to carry a cylinder, and that is little risky too. Compared to that, if you carry this solid material ammonia boron, then you can store huge amount of hydrogen within a particular zone of interest. Now a question, what is the fate of this end product? Hydrogen will be used and produced water, but that is the student question. Still now reversibility is the issue which scientists are trying to work with. So please remember, this ammonia boron is a potential chemical hydrogen storage material, or you can say potential fuel for future. Now let's come to our MCQ. So what is the product in this case after this reaction? 4 options are given. Now if you look at the mechanism, what happens in this case, please remember student, this ammonia boron is, you may consider, a stable boron source, a reducing agent, and we know that there are lone pairs in oxygen, so oxygen can act as Lewis base. So boron can act as a Lewis acid, and you can say that, sir, nitrogen is a better donor compared to oxygen. I agree student, but when you are carrying out some reaction, you give proper condition like temperature, environment, solvent, such that this reaction can happen. Okay, so and another thing, in the reaction medium, you see this carboxylic acid, we know this carboxylic acid proton is significantly acidic, delta positive, and this boron is delta negative. So they will react, and first what happens? First happened, that is Lewis acid base interaction, means this boron BH3, it's electron deficient, so consequently this gives 1 electron, and not only that, this lone pair also could be donated to this another boron. So in this way this adduct forms, and by the way, if you look at the adduct closely, this oxygen got formal positive charge, both 2 oxygens, and 2 boron got formal negative charge, means the boron atoms are rich in electron in this case after getting coordinated. Now if you look at this proton, this is a delta plus, and in this case delta minus. I have explained sometime before the reason of this polarity. So this delta plus and delta minus proton are close together, and this thing you may consider it's a 6-member type ring formation. So what you can expect, that this one hydride can attack another and it will produce one hydrogen gas and come out. Just sometime before I have explained the concept of hydrogen generation from this ammonia boron attack similarly. So after that what it will do? After that still it will remain. This is actually, in this case, if you look at closely, a neutral molecule hydrogen is coming out. So whatever the molecule is there, that will be ultimately neutral, and in this case see its adduct means positive, negative, neutral, and the other part this is also neutral. Fine. Now you can ask that, sir, in the reaction medium we have taken excess ammonia boron, so can't this oxygen coordinate with other boron? Means in this way, is it possible? No, student, because this oxygen is carrying already a positive charge, although it has a lone pair, but because of the positive charge it is not that much willing to donate its electron pair to someone else, because oxygen itself is significantly high electronegative atom. So this thing will not happen. Now second thing, you can say that, sir, is it possible that these lone pair could be donated to this? Because generally we say intramolecular reactions are highly favorable. Obviously not. Why? Because this oxygen is actually a sp2 hybridized. So this lone pair is also in sp2 hybrid orbital. So you can consider that this lone pair is in this direction, the lone pair of electrons. So how it can coordinate to boron? Proper conformational orientation for the coordination of lone pair is not available, so it will not happen. We understood this thing. Now what is the next? What is possible? See, in the next step, hydride transfer possible. How? You can see this part. You will say that, sir, here also proper conformational orientation is not achieved, but student, remember, reactivity is there. Why I am saying? See, the two oxygen atom, this oxygen and this oxygen, attached to boron and donated its lone pair to the boron atom. Consequently, what happens? This carbon became very high delta plus electronegative. That's why the hydride could be transferred from here to here. And after this transfer, it will open. And previously, remember, this center was sp2. But after this hydride transfer, this center became sp3, and we know the bond angle reduces from shifting of sp2 to sp3, because sp2 means we should consider planar near about 120 degree bond angle, but in case of sp3 the bond angle reduces to closer to 109 degree. So this we understood that reduction happened. Now still, if you consider that this carbon is attached to two oxygen, means you may consider it's a gem-diol derivative, or you may consider it's a keto derivative. Keto are not, that means keto can further undergo by reduction by boron. So what happens in this case? These boron, one hydride from this boron, by the way I have written wrong, means this thing is fine. So but after this shifting there should not be 3 hydrogen, there should be 2 hydrogen, and that's why it will happen, and this oxygen is, you can expect this is plus. Fine, we understood. Next thing, what happens? Since it has 2 hydrogen, so these hydrogen can again attack here. Now question, why it will attack? Because see, after this center became sp3, this oxygen atom also coordinated to another boron. Okay, the same way, and after that it eliminated one hydrogen. So ultimately it will produce this attack. And why this attack will happen? What is the driving force? The driving force is that after attack this will leave, and since the oxygen is carrying a positive charge, means after that the leaving group is neutral. So that is the driving force for this reaction. So what actually happened in it? So 2 hydride transfer happened to this carboxyl carbon. Okay, means you can consider here to here 2 hydride transfer happen, and its reduction, and ultimately what it produces here is a derivative of alcohol. But still the story is not finished. This oxygen is also carrying a positive charge, and the reaction medium there is amine. So we know amines are significantly high nucleophilic, so it will attack from the back side and it will leave. Why? Simple, because the oxygen is a neutral leaving group after this attack, because oxygen is already carrying a positive charge. So product is actually a amine derivative, and this concept you may consider as this is as reductive amination. By the way, hydrogen and catalyst can also do such kind of job, and boron, ammonia boron is doing. That's why you can consider such kind of ammonia boron reagent could be somehow substituent for this noble metal hydrogen like palladium hydrogen, those kind of thing. And from other point of view, if you look at this, palladium is capable to absorb significant amount of hydrogen on its surface, and it can produce the hydrogen when needed. Similar thing is possible if you heat this ammonia boron. But remember one thing, we have very less palladium resource, and this metal is toxic to environment, and these noble metals are highly in demand nowadays because of this its industrial application during the catalytic processes. So that's why scientists are trying to find out the alternate, and that's why this reagent ammonia boron getting significant attention nowadays. So we have understood what is the answer of our question. This is a reductive amination, or option B is the answer. Okay, fine. Now another thing, you may have an idea that, sir, if there is an acid, why? These MSOH means this methane sulfonic acid, CH3 S double bond O minus. And now remember, if you compare this thing with a carboxylic acid, or better to say the carboxylate anion, this carboxylate is better nucleophile, because in this case the negative charge is delocalized over this 2s double bond O, and sulfur is significantly more electronegative compared to carbon. So that's why this is more nucleophilic, and reaction will proceed on this oxygen, means the carboxylic acid derivatives. Now another interesting concept of using this ammonia boron is actually reducing agent for CO2 reduction. Student, I know this is a very hot topic nowadays, and recently this Paris Climate Agreement, the COP26 summit happened, which was mainly to deal about global warming and climate change, which is because of excess CO2 in the atmosphere because of human activities. So elimination of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is very important, and utilization means after separation you need to utilize that CO2, otherwise what is the value, where you store? So for that purpose you need a proper methodology where you can utilize CO2 into other value added chemicals or fuel. For that purpose this is important. And by the way, I have already opened a new YouTube channel where I dedicatedly upload videos on this climate and chemistry related thing. You may visit. So in this case actually dual approach is taken. What is the dual approach? The dual approach is activation of carbon dioxide by frustrated Lewis acid pair. By the way, I have already described a dedicated lecture on frustrated Lewis acid base pair. This is a very unique molecule, very unique concept. Please learn if you don't know it. I am not going to explain in details here. And second, this source of reducing agent, that is hydride from this BH bond, means the ammonia boron adduct. Why not simple boron? Because simple boron is not that much stable, whereas ammonia boron is relatively stable. Now this frustrated Lewis acid base pair are developed between this R3P trialkyl phosphane and AlAr3. Why frustrated? This phosphorus aluminium can, because aluminium have 6 electron in the outermost valence shell and phosphorus have a lone pair. Why not the like ammonia boron, so Lewis acid base adduct, why they can't form? Why they are frustrated? Because the bulkiness of these 3R and 3Ar. Please visit that video for better learning. So what happens, since they are frustrated, they are ready to do something interesting. So chemically reactive you may consider. And in this case, if you look at the carbon dioxide molecule, this carbon dioxide molecule has oxygen and this oxygen has lone pair. Consequently, what happened? This lone pair of oxygen could be given to aluminium center. So, and there are 2 oxygens, so this donation possible from both sides. Point number 1. Second thing, these trialkyl phosphine, the lone pair of phosphorus could not be donated to aluminium center because of the bulkiness of these Ar groups, but it can attack the carbon dioxide carbon because it's sp hybridized, and carbon dioxide is not a bulky molecule, small molecule. So that's why you can see after nucleophilic attack it's like a dual activation of carbon dioxide. How? One is activation of oxygen lone pair using Lewis acid like aluminium, and second nucleophilic activation by nucleophilic center like phosphorus, and we know phosphorus is the better nucleophile because it's softer in nature. So after that it will produce this adduct. Fine. And the next step comes about reduction using ammonia boron. By the way, student, still now this is simply a adduct formation. No chemical reduction happened till now because the carbon in this case oxidation state is +4. Okay, now in the next step what's happening, this boron, we know this BH is delta negative hydride, so these will be shifted to this center. You may consider this is actually a RCOOR, this type of minus derivative. Just some time before you have seen how the reaction happens. So similarly hydride transfer will happen, and you can see this is the red hydride which came from this boron. Remember, this hydride came from boron, not from ammonia, okay, or nitrogen having attached to hydrogen. So this is a nucleophilic hydride, negative hydride, and after that actually hydride transfer. Now oxidation state of this carbon center is +3, means it's actually a reduction. So if you do the workup, then this aluminium part will go from both sides and ultimately it will produce this. And by the way, if I ask from where this hydrogen came, this OH, obviously from aqueous workup or from water, but again I am telling this hydrogen attached to carbon came from boron. Okay, so this is the overall discussion, and please remember student, CO2 rise is a global problem and it is important for our climate security. We need to check, we need to restrict this emission and achieve carbon neutral economy through the help of science and technology. It's our prime target, otherwise this earth will not be a place for all the means trees, plants, human, other animals. We all will face a catastrophe. So that's why we must be responsible. And the most important thing, I believe, the biggest achievement of life is peace. Try to maintain it. Thank you. Stay happy. See you in my next video. Bye bye.